Well, I am so excited. We are going live for the first time this new year. Hey, gang,
Amen.
everybody. Hey, look at God. He's so awesome. It's so wonderful. And we are live stream. And I know we're a little early tonight, but thank God we are here, right?
Yes,
So,
Lord.
hello, everybody out there. Welcome. Welcome. We're a little bit early. We know we are, but we want to make sure that that all of our stuff is working. And so we are going to get started here in a moment. Looks like everything is up and running, and we are going live. Got to make sure all technology is in place. Hey, Linda. Hey, Marquise. How you all
Hey,
doing?
how you
Hello,
doing?
hello, hello.
Greetings from the West Coast. West Coast.
Yay.
Amen. Greetings from the capital city of Michigan, lovely Lansing.
Linda, how is the weather out there in Vegas?
It's cold. It's cool and overcast today. So it's a beautiful rainy day in Vegas. We love the rain and the clouds
Indeed, yes, indeed.
because we don't get too much of that. So
Yeah,
you get tired of that sun beating down on your head every day. It's
yeah,
amazing. Some places you don't get enough sun, some you get too much sun.
Right.
But it's a lovely day in Vegas. Lovely cloudy day.
good. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I am excited about this time, but wait a minute, Marquise, tell them what our weather. She said it's overcast there. Tell them about our Lansing weather for the first time in a couple of weeks.
Couple weeks exactly. Well, the weekend has been very, very nice. Mild temperatures, above average temperatures. The sun managed to peek through yesterday, brightening the horizon. Just a beautiful, fabulous day. Today began with sunny skies. Toward the afternoon, had some clouds. Nonetheless, it's been relatively nice here in Michigan. We've had very, very little snowfall this winter, which is a good thing. And so, Marianne, it's been nice. The weather it's going to continue for the duration of this week, upper 30s, even 40 on Tuesday. So we
But
can
it's
take
supposed
it.
to rain. So the
Right.
overcast, but guess what? I had to be in the house for these two sunny days. I was in the house.
You missed the sun.
Ah,
Oh,
yeah. Hey, Stephanie, how are you? Welcome to the conversation. Hope you all join in the conversation today. It's going to be really, really great. Hey, Sandra, I'm so happy you all are here, and whoever else is watching, I can't see, but hey, we are so excited. So, what is today show about? How to have one of the best days of your life. Let me just share with some folk. I forgot we need to definitely share with people, but if you can share with people, because we're going to talk about how to have one of the best years. I said, Dave, but one of the best years of your life. And believe me, as we get into this conversation, you will see that you really can have one of the best years of your life. And so let me get started. Hey, mommy, my mom is watching, Joyce. I want, you all to share this show today. And yeah, I'm gonna have to use a different computer here. So anyway, so here's the what we're going to cover. We're going to cover the elements that it really takes to have a great year, one of the best years. What are your thoughts about that, team? You all talk to them a little bit. Let me put it on a different view. Yeah, talk to them a little bit about it while I get this all shared out.
Well, I think that in order to have the best years, one of the best years of your life, you got to do something different, than what you had done last year. You have to step it up a bit or change something or include something new that you haven't done before, or maybe something that works for you before, but maybe you didn't complete it, or you want to try it again or whatever. So you just can't be on the same modality and expect change. So it's important for you to, look at opportunities to grow and to try to change, because, it's about the effort that you put forth. It's just not going to happen because you want it to happen. But if you put your thoughts and your energy into it, then it can be one of the best years of your life. So we continue to grow. And even though we may not last year have met all of our goals, we're continuing to grow and to get better and to learn new ways and modalities to move up and to enhance our lives. And that's what this program is going to be about. It's a new opportunity and a wonderful opportunity for you to not only be by yourself in trying to reach your goals, but have access to information and people who can help you, who are experienced in these various areas that you need help, and can really help you personally as well as a group to reach, to have the best year of your life, to really move the needle this year. Let's move the needle. I mean, from year to year, we say we're going to lose so much weight, or we're going to do this project, we're going to do that project, and we keep procrastinating, including me. I do that all the time. I'm not happy with where I am exactly. I know that there has been some improvement, but there've been some setbacks too. And so I feel like I'm kind of like back and forth. And I don't know if I'm moving forward. I know I'm moving forward, but it seems like it's slower than I want it to be. So I'm ready to, put in some extra time and energy and learning how to do even better. And I hope you will be too.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. Go ahead, Marquise.
well, from a Christian perspective, I like to focus on John 10:10, where it says that I've come that you would have life and have life more abundantly. And so when we're talking about life, we're talking about our relationships, our finances, our health, our community, all those things that pretty much surround us that also impact us. And so we want to be the very best, as a parent, as a wife, as a husband, as just really a human being. And in our health, we want to feel healthy. We want to be able to live a vibrant, fulfilling life. When you have your health, you have everything. So in all phases of our lives, we're here to help you live your best life in the year of 2023. So with that in mind, I'm excited. I'm ready to dive in, get to work, because there are areas of my life that I want to improve, that I want to be a winner. I want to see some goals, some dreams come to fruition this year. So I'm excited and can't wait to get started.
And that just leads right into, what we're working on right now is a maximizing me. So when we talk about a holistic approach, looking at ourselves, looking at what it is that gives me the maximum results in my life, so that I feel like I am functioning at my maximum level. And we know that's a work in progress. So our team for our success has agreed to join me in Coach Marianne in Motivity Coaching to do a maximizing me in 2023, and we'll be doing that. We'll kick that off in April, and it'll go throughout the entire year. And so hopefully you'll join that group. We'll tell you more about it as we go along, because we're still in the development stage right now. But It's really going to be an amazing experience because we all will be getting those things done. We will be maximizing our efforts. And the way you maximize your efforts is you maximize your day. You maximize the moment. And so, which is some of what we're going to talk about today, touching on how do you have the best years. I mean, the best year of your life, the best year of your life. Let's take it back. In order to have the best year of your life, a year is made up of 12 months. You've got to have the best months of your life. Months are made up of weeks. You got to have the best weeks of your life. Weeks are made up of days. So you've got to have the best days of your life. And days are made up of moments. So you've got to start with the moment, but you've got to begin with the end in mind. So one of the things we want to talk about in having the best years of your life is, first of all, you've got to assess. You got to do some assessing. It's like, what does that look like?
What do you want?
Yeah.
How would you know that this is one of the best years of your life?
Yeah.
How would you know that? What would tell you that this is the best year of your life? Some of us don't sit down to even look at what it is that makes our life feel like we're living our best life. Some people say, I'm living my best life. And you may be living your best life, and it really is great. I think that people should take time to appreciate and to celebrate that best life, that right now, that moment that you're in, like right now. Don't go flying through this time, because this is a really great time. You made it into 2023, honey.
Amen.
You made it in. Some people did not make it this year. And you made it in. So that's one good thing. That's a best moment to embrace, right? So we've got to look at where you are. Then we have to look at what you have. And then what is it that you want? Where do you want to go? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do? What's going to make you feel like you are maximizing your life? Maximizing me. As Marquis says, it's about spiritual, personal, it is about relationships, it's about finances, your business. There's so many aspects of your life. But guess what they all have in common? Me. Capital M-E. And some of you know that I'm writing the book and creating the program, Me Love, capital M-E, Love, Cultivating Self-Love and Self-Compassion. And in cultivating self-love and self-compassion, this is not a narcissistic type of, hey, it's more of saying, celebrating you. It's more of embracing your greatness. It's more of being compassionate to yourself, and so I take the concept and spin off and say, okay, now wait a minute, here's one thing for 2023. How about maximizing me? How about maximizing my greatness, maximizing the things, the gifts and talents that I have, my relationships, my efforts,
So Mary, what you're saying is that one of the steps is to assess what you have, what resources you have available to you to help you to make this year the best year of your life, and what you have to work with now.
Internal and external.
And we're trying to help you in being one of those resources, so keep that in mind. Absolutely. And Linda, so that kind of brings us to the first point, the next point, which is mindset. You have to have the right mindset in order to maximize your moment, maximize yourself. A lot of people, their mindset is that it's never good enough. I'm not good enough. Whatever happened is not good enough. Life is not good enough. So you've got to be able to, number one, be in it to win it. Have a winner's mindset. Be in it
to win it.
Mhm.
That means look at what do you want the outcome to look like? What will you be celebrating? Right? So you got to have the right mindset because there are going to be some changes you're going to have to make. And I know some of you are new to the show, some of you are to the conversations, but I want you to know that there's stages of change.
Mm.
And we talk about the 6 stages of change because first there is pre-contemplation.
Yes. Mhm.
Pre-contemplation, right? Marquise, you want?
Yes. Yeah.
Go ahead.
That is that is stage number one, and that is the person that's not ready to consider a change or is unaware of the need for change. Oftentimes, others recognize in us that for us to be successful, for us to meet certain goals, expectations, that there has to be change. And oftentimes we don't recognize those changes. It's like a concept called the Johari window. There's four panels in that window, and we cannot see those intricacies, those behaviors, those attitudes, the fear, all those things that hinder us from changing. And so again, that pre-contemplation is the first stage. I may not recognize in me the things that I need to change until someone in a loving and kind way and say, hey, Marquise, hey, you're getting off track here. And so in order to get back on track and to recognize that there are some behaviors, there are some addictions, there are some habits, there are some things that are not Christ-like, and that's when our convictions, will come and speak to us. The Holy Spirit will come and speak to us, because we want to stay focused, we want to stay on track, and like Mary Ann said, we want to live our best year in 2023, and so understanding that we're all evolving. I'm not the same person that I was 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and so we're all constantly learning, evolving, to better ourselves, and so change is needed. I moved from a location where I lived for 20 years to a very nice, comfortable, roomy place now, and it's been such an exciting change, and so change is good. Oftentimes we resist change, but sometimes change is good for us.
Which brings me to the point. That's what pre-contemplation. Go ahead, Linda.
I was just going to say, you brought up a good point, Marquise, in that sometimes we don't see ourselves what we need for change. I think that's a really important thing.
Yeah.
And you brought that up. We may need some help, from others, those that we trust and that know us, or maybe professionals or whatever, to help us to understand what is really needed and why, where we are avoiding. Sometimes we're not even aware that we're in our own way. You know what I'm saying? So, we need somebody sometimes to kind of pull our coattail and say, hey, why are you doing it this way? Or why are you thinking that way? So it gets kind of deep sometimes, but the thing is to be on the road to change.
Yes. Well, we say there's 6 stages, so I'm gonna just say the 6 stages, and then we'll come back to stage number 2. So we have pre-contemplation, then we have contemplation, and then we have preparation,
Preparation,
action, then we have maintenance, and we
maintenance,
have termination or relapse. So we'll
relapse.
talk about it as we get there. So
Right.
that's our pre-contemplation. I think you get it. You may not realize you need to make a change, but in order to have the best year of your life, do you need to do something differently? If you know, one of the best years of your life, I say that because I would hope that each year going forward, you would have even better years. So that's why I say one of the best years of your life. But here's the thing: if you are in that pre-contemplation stage, you don't know, but you're doing some introspective work, reach out to somebody. Get yourself a buddy, somebody you trust, you know,
Right.
because in order to have one of the best years of your life, you need a support system. You're not an island, and you cannot do it alone. And if you are a Christian, understand this: God is very capable of doing things alone, but he chose not to. He didn't even create the world alone. Read John if you don't believe me. He didn't create the world alone. And Jesus didn't go it alone. He could have came here and did everything he needed to do alone, but he didn't. He built a team. Build a team around you, a supportive environment that's going to help you. And don't just get your yes people. Because
Yeah.
you know that's kind of narcissistic. You want everybody
Yeah.
around you to be a yes person. No, honey. Don't just get your yes person. Get somebody who's gonna be real with you, and
No, you
somebody who got a little thick skin that can really don't mind. You know, yeah, I know you all that in a bag of chips to everybody else, but let me tell you something. You know, you gotta have somebody who can be real with you. You
Yeah.
know, and so then you got to move on to contemplating this change, and you probably are now. You're like, what you know, I might need to make a change. I want something different. I got to do something differently, what it is. So now you're contemplating the change. You know, I want to stop, you know, I want to start doing more of this. I want to start doing more of that. And the reason why I want to more focus on what you want to start doing more of is because we always want to stop something. But if we get so involved in our strengths and in the positive aspects of our life, as far as what we want to start doing more of, we'll have less time, less energy to do those things that we need to stop doing. However, we cannot be oblivious to things that need behaviors, actions, thought patterns that need to change, and you need to stop doing. You know,
Right.
so if you're calling yourself names, you're speaking death over your life or over your children's life or your family's life or your loved ones' life, you know, your friends and all. Hey, that might be something you want to stop doing. But nevertheless, so contemplate. Now you know you're contemplating a change. You want to say something about contemplating, Marquise?
Yeah, I just want to kind of piggyback on what you were saying. Oftentimes, we become our worst critic. We say, well, I'm not smart enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not the right color. No one likes me. So when understanding Romans 12:2 says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So it has to be a mindset change and believing in yourself. I can do this. I may not be the smartest or the prettiest. I might have not, you know, a certain degree from a certain college or university. But I believe in myself. I believe in my abilities. And I also believe that God is a gracious God who will supply all of our needs. When you line up with God, the promises of God, when your mindset has been changed, when you believe without a doubt that you can achieve this, you can achieve that, regardless, you will be successful. And so just wanted to piggyback on that. I grew up a very shy, believe it or not, folks. I grew up a very shy.
No.
Very shy, quiet, introverted person with a bad speech impediment. I started so bad, they would hit me on the back, say, get it out. And so I began to work on myself. I began to slow down, enunciate words. I began to see myself as having more and doing more. And so I can honestly say that I'm not a, I am a God-made man. It has been God.
Made man, made by God,
It is God.
made
It is
by
God
God, right?
that
Made in God.
has transformed my life to the person that I am today, who's competent, who's educated, who believes in the notion that all things are possible. And so again, when we're talking about, you know, the contemplation, we just have to learn to just reject all those negative things that you think and feel and see about yourself. See yourself through the eyes of God, that I'm talented, as Mary Ann said, I'm talented, I'm gifted. My self-worth is a 10. And so believing in yourself, that's,
Yeah.
you know, that's the key.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Believing all
Absolutely.
things are possible, you know,
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
really important.
And
See yourself as God sees you. You know?
yes. And then which then takes us into the next era of this stage of change is we got to then look at moving into preparation.
Preparation.
And that's what we're doing right now, even for our show. So we want to do Maximizing Me in 2023, and it is it's a Achieving Maximum Results coaching group. So it's Achieving Maximum Results. So if you're looking to achieve maximum results, that's the group you want to be a part of. So we'll be, like I said, telling you more about that. But as we kick that off in April, right now we're in preparation stage. So now we're in preparation, right? So if you've been planning, you know, I'm going to make a change, but you haven't contemplated that change. You just already want to jump from that thought, I'm going to make a change, into action. And you miss contemplating about it. Like Marquis saying, looking at the whole thing, contemplating, hey, what might, when I'm setting up, and this is something we will be doing in the group, setting up a strategic plan of action, because I want to say this now. In order to achieve a goal, there's certain elements, we'll talk about that in a moment, but you have to have a strategy in mind, honey. You just want to go from the thought to action. Hey, when you're in a contemplating and a preparation stage, now you're preparing, because in your preparation stage, you're going to look at, you know, what I have, what I need, you know, what could derail me. So look at your strengths. We're going to be looking at this when you're in our group, you know, your strengths. You know, we're going to look at the things that's not as strong. We're going to look at a lot of, you know, we're just going to set a strategic life plan in place for you so that you'll know what maximum results look like, how you're going to obtain those maximum results, what you're going to approach them. We'll be, you know, keeping you accountable, and, you know, there will be, you will not want to miss this group. Anyway, so now you're in preparation stage. You're trying to prepare for this move, this change, you know, to have a maximum life. Well, what are you doing for preparation? You know, you might be getting a journal. You might start writing things down, writing down your goals, writing a plan, you know. So what are you doing? Think about preparing. If I'm preparing for a speech, do I just go off the cuff? Do I study the material? Do I learn about my audience? What do I do? You know, you got to prepare because prior preparation prevents poor performance. So in
Right.
making a change, you've got to do some preparation, honey. So, and that's prior preparation. You're doing some preparation before you're going to enter the action mode. And
Absolutely.
then you're going to enter the action mode. Did you have something you want to say about that, Marquise?
I just wanted to just throw this out. Work your plan and plan your work.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just a moment. This is
Mhm.
exactly plan your work and work your plan. Exactly. I want to get through the stages of change. Then we're going to jump into the goal setting and what kind of goal setting we need to talk about. And so the next stage, like I said, is action. And Linda, when we're talking about action, we're talking about they're in an action stage now. You know, what would you add to that?
Well, one thing that I was thinking about was that, you know, a lot of us have not met some goals that we've had in the past, but don't let your lack of meeting those goals in the past deter you from and make you give up on today. You know, that was what I wanted to say. Because a lot of times we feel like, oh, like I've been trying to lose weight for 5 years or whatever, 10 years, whatever. And so you really, you know, feeling like I'm in the back of your mind, you saying, I'm not going to lose this weight. But there's always opportunities to reach those goals, but keeping yourself motivated and understanding that it is possible because you have another chance every day that you wake up. So understand that and put yourself in that mindset. And also that you want to do it today or as soon as possible. Those are the important things, but not to get derailed from previous failures in whatever, you know, you had tried to aspire to do before. That's all I was
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah. So, because when you're in action mode, and I wanted to take a moment before I do that to say, you know, hi, KT, hi, Zion, Zion, they're meal planning. They're meal planning, and Cassandra. And so I wanted to say, please, if you have any comments, any questions, and you want to be a part of this conversation, just let us know. And definitely, we want to hear your thoughts on this. But getting back to action, we got 2 more steps after action. Action is the critical stage because action is where the work is really being done. You've got to work. Like Marky said, this is where you've already planned your work in preparation stage. Excuse me. Now in the action stage, you are working your plan. You are working your plan. And that is going to help you to go into the next stage, which is maintenance. Because once you're in maintenance stage, Marquise, you have those the actual definitions there, the explanations of the maintenance stage, because I want him to read it for you all. But as far as a coach, the maintenance stage, I know that that's the stage you want to get to where you don't even need to make the change anymore because you're just doing it. It's a part of who you are. It's a part of your life, your day-to-day life. You was making a change in action. You preparing for the change in preparation. You thought about the change in contemplation. You know, it was brought to your attention probably in pre-contemplation. Then you enter contemplating. Then, you know, so now you're up to maintenance. Yeah, I don't really need to make this stage. It's just a part of who I am. I do this every day. It's a habit now, you know. And so it just become a part of my life. And did you have anything to say about that, Marquise?
Well, just sharing with the group more definitive in terms of maintenance is that you've in essence you kind of fix the problem, okay, or you correct it, or you've been able to overcome an obstacle, okay. But in order to ensure long-term longitudinal success, it requires maintenance. Just like you drive a car, you change your oil, you rotate the tires, you add coolant into the engine. And so, and that's with even with relationships.
Yeah.
There's maintenance. And when I was working for GM, we had a concept called preventive maintenance, meaning that we didn't wait till something broke down. We fixed it prior to it actually breaking down, which is called PM, preventive maintenance. And so when we achieve a goal and we want to maintain that, okay, that's like the person who's lost 25 pounds. And in order to maintain that same weight, they're going to have some maintenance. Going to have to continue to eat right. Going to have to continue to exercise. Going to have to, maintain a certain regimen to maintain that. And so that is your maintenance. And so it's although you met the goal, you reached that achievement. With that, in order to maintain that maintenance, there has to be a maintenance component, or you will find yourself back, or I picked up 10 pounds, or my car is not running right. And so that's where that maintenance component comes in. And that's the fifth stage we're talking about. A person is maintained.
Yes, and which takes, because it takes us to the next I'm sorry, I was just looking here. Yeah, okay, it takes us to the next stage. When you're saying that, the next stage is termination or / relapse.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to the final stage, the sixth stage, which is termination. I can stop saying this is a change I need to make because I've already made that change. And I'm maintaining those behaviors that's going to sustain, give me sustainable change.
Right.
Okay. And so then there's determination. So I don't need this, not on my change, on my list of changes that needs to be made. Now, it's just a part of who I am in my day-to-day life. So it's terminated. So I don't need it. But like you said, Marquise, you may relapse. That's the thing. Relapse is when now you made the change, but your maintenance is failing.
Mhm.
Your
Yeah.
maintenance is failing. You're tired in it. It's not sustainable right now. So now you relapse. Where did you relapse back to? Well, you never will relapse back to pre-contemplation. I can tell you that. But you already know that the change needs to be made. You might relapse all the way back to contemplating again. Maybe or preparation. Or maybe you just need to relapse back. Maybe just relapse back to action. Putting it back in action. Working your plan again. Right? So those are the 6 stages of change. And did you want to say anything about that, Linda, before we moved on to the next thing, which is
No, I totally agree with you, and it is really important to understand that when we don't do that maintenance, that then that's called a relapse.
Exactly. You
Sometimes we get to the top and we just feel like I have arrived and I am here, and get so joyful about it that we forget that we really do need to maintain it. But
right.
You'll get reminders.
It's the same thing with weight loss. It's like I thank God. I mean, I lost the 20 pounds, but I had gained, y'all, I wasn't supposed to be eating like I was eating over the holidays, especially with that last show we did, right? I didn't do so well. Just maybe because I'm by myself. And so, yeah, so Goodies is my company. Anyway, but but I did. So I just like I had like really gained like 5, and then I went down, and then I went back, and then I went down. So now I'm like 1 pound away from that 20 pounds, maybe 1 to 2 pounds away from that 20-pound loss. But I have at least maintained that loss. And so now I'm looking and now moving forward, I can't wait till the whole group starts, because that just the synergy in the group will
Yeah.
really help me, and being accountable to everybody. Anyway, but uh I did relapse. So I had to go back to say, okay, well, what do I need to do now? And I think I'm part of I relapsed, and I'm gonna tell you, I relapsed to preparation. And
Mhm.
I said, not action, because I am not in action mode right now. I'm in preparation mode. And it's just like, okay, actually a little bit of contemplation, because I'm like, wait a minute, I want to do something different.
Mhm.
I really want to do something different. But I had to, in my preparation stage, realize what it is that I'm really trying to fulfill with these goodies,
Mhm.
because it almost derailed me. I would have, I did not want to go backwards, and I worked hard to lose that weight, eating, much better. And so I just have not been eating that great. And I know that. And now in my body, I'm feeling some things. So it's like, okay, wait, I'm going back. So that's where I am now. I'm just being transparent with you. So, but y'all keep watching, because this girl gonna be trimming down, okay? Anyway, at least by
Little
inches.
girl. I like it.
Anyway, this is gonna be one of my best years ever.
Amen.
We're gonna hold you to that.
Years of my life, okay?
Amen. Mhm.
So next we're gonna go into how do you do this? We talked about your mindset. We've talked about, actually assessing things. We talked about your mindset. We talked about the stages of change. So now let's talk about the goal setting. We did a show a couple of years ago on goal setting. But the thing about goal setting, sometimes people set goals, their resolutions or whatever else they call it. This I'm gonna you know, I'm gonna, or the someday thingy, someday I'm gonna do this, or I'm going to do that, or I want. A lot of times that becomes just a dream or a desire, because you have not really planned your work. And before you can even start planning your work, you got to know where you're headed. And where you're headed is your goal. But it has to be a smart goal. You can't just say, well, I'm going there. No, you're going to have to be specific.
Mhm.
It's going to have to be measurable,
Mhm.
attainable. It's going to have to be realistic. And
Yes.
it's going to have to be time bound. It's got to be a smart goal. And so we're going to talk about SMART goal for a little bit, and then move from that into planning that work and working that plan. Because what we want you to do is we're trying to lay the foundation, a great foundation, for you to have one of the best years of your life. Does that sound good? You know,
Yeah.
is that, yeah, best years of your life. My God, I'm excited about it. Okay, so now SMART, specific. Oh, come on now. We've talked about this. Specific. Don't just say, I'm going to lose weight. I can say, I'm going to lose weight. Guess what? If I lose 1 ounce, that's weight. It's weight. It ain't real specific. It's not a real good, smart goal. If I want to, get down, I've written mine down. What I even got like my inches. I've got my inches. I've got my weight. I've gotten very specific, because I really need to I need to visualize the end. I need to begin with the end in mind, right? I said, be in it to win it. Begin with the end in mind. So every time I'm working with a client, the first thing I want to establish with them is, where are we going? Where would you like to get to? Where would you like to get to? That's specific.
Mhm.
Specifically, where are we headed to. If we're headed to the zoo, which zoo? Where's it located? How will we know if we got there? Are we at the right zoo? You know what I'm saying? Because you can go to any zoo. Which zoo
Right.
you want to go to? You know? And I usually ask what's important about that because I want a person to understand what is important is because the things that you really value as important are the things that you work harder for, the things that you will stay more committed to. And so when you're more specific, which is where you really want to be in deciding that specific goal, you want to consider what's important about it. What is really important about that goal? Why do I want that goal? Because you can say, well, I want to say Bentley. I want a Bentley, which I'm going to, narrow it all down. Like what kind of Bentley, what year, da 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 da. We're going to get to the specifics. So, but you want a Bentley, I guess for the sake of time, you want a Bentley and you say, yeah, I want a Bentley and I want it by the end of the year. I want to give it to myself for Christmas. Okay, great. And so we get to talking, get to coaching, we find out that guess what? It's not even a Bentley that you want. You've always wanted a Bentley, but when we get to doing the work, when we plan out the work, the strategies and everything, and you find out that, because what I want to know is what's important about that Bentley. And if I'm finding out that when you're finding out, you're discovering, you're becoming aware that what's important about that Bentley is that you always wanted one when you was a kid. But right now, as an adult, it doesn't even fit in your lifestyle. It's just going to sit somewhere because you ain't really going to drive it the way you drive it because it's going to cost of gas and da 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 da. A whole bunch of reasons why. Now. But guess what? You were so excited about that Tesla. You're talking to me. Your face is lighting up. You're telling me how you love that Tesla. When you talk about a Bentley, you're like, yeah, I want a Bentley. I've always want one ever since I was a kid, But when you talk about that Tesla, you're like, but man, I was riding that. That bad boy was driving past. Oh, I just tell you, I mean, you're going on and on and on. And I'm saying, I noticed that when you talk about the Bentley, your shoulders went up. It was like almost, like it's a chore to get this Bentley.
Right.
When you talk about this Tesla, it seems like you're just so excited and all this energy comes when you're talking about that. What's important about the Tesla over the Bentley?
Mm-hmm.
And you might not even realize it.
Right.
Oh, wow.
That's the importance of having others with you when
Yeah.
you are making those goals and moving in another direction and trying to improve. You got to have the synergy of other people and the wisdom. And
Right.
pick up on things that you may not pick up on,
Right. I said, yeah, because all year long you working hard for this Bentley. When if you was working for that Tesla, you get there much sooner and you would love much better, be more exciting.
And
So
it becomes a more realistic goal, a more attainable goal.
yeah.
The Bentley is going to cost more than your house. So, I mean, what's the point of having a Bentley in the driveway? And its value is more than your home. Again, the Tesla is more affordable. It's realistic, and it is a goal. Its attainment is a goal that is within reach.
So now let me say this.
Well, we
Let's
might have some listeners that are able to buy. Yes, a Bentley, so we cannot, just say that it's not attainable because it depends on the individual.
That's what I was gonna say. Now wait a minute. Some of my clients could easily buy a Bentley.
That's right.
Okay, that's not even the thing. And the Bentley don't cost more than their house. But here's the deal. I never place any judgment. I let them find out if it's realistic for them or not.
Right.
And that's what we want. If it's what he's saying is if you're working at McDonald's, if you're working at, just, doing part-time hours and you're getting less than, $100,000 a year, it's going to be kind of irrealistic that
Yeah.
you may not reach the goal by the end of the year. So what we do is kind of look at attainable goals. So that's when we went SMART goals. So we were specific about it. We made sure it was specific. Then we went into measurable. How are you going to know? You know, how you gonna know? And asking all those questions so we can get a picture so that you can begin with the end in mind. The measurement is, what does it look like? How are you gonna be able to determine if that you've gotten there? You know, how you gonna measure that you got there, or that you want to be there from a scale to 1 to 10? From a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you want to be there? And you can put that value, add that value, and that becomes your measurement. You know,
Right.
and then attainable, like Marquis was indicating, is, you know, how is it attainable for you to? We're not going to talk about realistic yet. We mean, is it actually attainable? If the Bentley is going to cost 500 grand, and you're only making 100 grand a year, you're going to have to do some other things. Is it attainable that you're going to get that by the end of the year? So you all know this. This is kind of elementary to some, but to others it's not. And so then it's and then is it realistic? Is it realistic to put all your money into a Bentley that's going to sit in your driveway? And so that's what Marquis is not saying that it's irrealistic to have a Bentley. He's saying, if all your expenses much more, I mean, you know, how are you going to really afford that Bentley? And so we got to look at it. So you got to look at your goals that you're about to set. Are they SMART goals? Are they time bound? By when? By when? If you don't know by when, then set a by when, because it make it a SMART goal. You got to say by when. Okay, so by when, even if you say, well, I don't really know how long it's going to take me to get that Bentley or Tesla. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get to Tesla, because you decided in your SMART evaluation, you decided that the Tesla is really, really what you want. So you said, I don't know how long is it going to really take me. I know by year. I really don't care about how long it's going to take. Okay, so let's make some SMART goals that take us closer there. What can we do over the next 3 months? At the end of 3 months, what does that look like? And that's what we're going to be doing. That's what we're going to be doing in our group. We're going to be taking, you know, quarters by quarters, and we'll be achieving something every, you know, every 2 weeks. There's check-in. We're going to be, you know, moving forward. So moving you closer to your goals. And so that time, you've got to put that time factor in there. And Marquis, you and I were talking the other day about the SMART goals, and you had made a point. I said, you know, why don't you make that point on the show? Do you remember what that was?
I don't, and I don't have my notes with me.
It's okay. It's okay.
Again,
It's what I was just thinking. I know it's about that time. We talked about that timepiece.
Yeah, it's basically, you know, SMART goals are again goals that are achievable, are attainable, are within reach, within your grasp. You know, somebody might say, well, I have a goal to go to the moon. Well, you know, that's not a very sound and realistic goal. However, someone else may say, well, I want to go back to school and get my GED, or I might want to go back and get that master's degree that I've been prolonging and delaying. And so again, there's a stark difference between a realistic goal versus a goal that is unattainable. You know, young people may say, well, I want to be a rapper. I want to be the next Jay-Z or Beyonce, or so and so. Again, those are very, very lofty goals. I
Well,
can't sit here and say, well, that would never happen. However, I've always, been goal oriented, whether it was in my finances, by a certain date. I wanted to be able to save X amount of dollars. I had a goal a few years ago about putting together a planning mechanism for my sons in the event that I die. And so that was a goal that was reachable, attainable, and something that was manifested in an actual document.
yeah, yeah,
And so again, SMART goals,
yeah.
being realistic, I still dream, I still have these goals about being a New York Times best-selling author, a Pulitzer Prize award-winning
Well,
author, blah, blah, blah. Those are my goals.
but
And
see,
so, uh, God willing, I'll get there.
well,
So,
let me jump in here, Marquise, because you know what, that makes a great point. So you have a dream about being a bestseller. And that's a New York Times. So do I. So here's the thing. That's when we not got to know the difference. We want you to dream. We want you to dream. We want you to
right,
dream big.
Big.
And that's one of the
Yeah.
things. You have to have a vision. You have to dream big. But when you're ready to start moving towards it, you got to set a goal. You got to set small goals. So I will ask you, and this is what I want to ask you. We're going to come back in 2 weeks, okay? I want to ask you, is there any one thing that you can do that's going to move you towards attaining the goal that you would want to attain? Any one change you want to make in your life to be able to have one of the best years of your life? What is this one goal? It could be to sit down and actually make the SMART goal. Make sure you make it specific, make it measurable, make it attainable, realistic, and time bound. And then think of, how can I move closer? Because that's what we're about. We want you to be able to get maximum results. But the maximum results, sweetie, it starts with you.
Mhm.
It starts with you. That's why our focus, when we start to do the group coaching, it is on maximizing me. And maximizing me, I've got to start with me. And maybe I have to do more planning. Maybe I have to do more goal setting. Maybe I have to do more contemplation or preparation or actions, maintenance. I have to work on me. And as I work on me, then I'm going to be maximizing me and maximizing my moments, which is going to maximize the things that affect me, or that I affect, or that I influence, or that influence me. So we're looking at that. So you make sure you do that. You got to dream. You got to dream big. You got to dream big. But if you want the dreams to come true, you got to do some work, boo.
put the
Yes.
work in.
And Mary,
Scott.
let me just say this too. You do have to identify what your goals and everything are. But sometimes, well, all the time, really, in order to, especially to get to a dream that's big, you need a team.
Yes.
A team. Because I have a PhD, but I tell you, I would not have the PhD without my team. There was a team that helped me through that process. And without them, I would not be where I am today. I'm telling you, because that makes all the difference in the world. They could see things because they had been through it that I couldn't see. They helped me through some low points, some disappointments, and that kind of thing. So it's important for you to also have a team that is helping you to attain these goals. And that is part of our process. We would love to be a part of your team, if not your team, to help you through the process of attaining your goals this year, and this being one of the best years of your life.
Yes, yes, yes. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Ava. Hey, Stacy. And Stacy said, you definitely need a team, Mom. Big facts. No, big facts, Mom, which is so true. You need a team. And we do. That's why we're doing this as a team. We're maximizing me as a team, right?
Yes, and
But
hopefully you will join.
because
Yeah.
here's it, together each achieves more. Together, each achieves more. That's the reason we are having these conversations. We want you to achieve more.
Iron
We want
sharpens
you to
iron.
achieve more. Iron sharpens iron.
Right,
And,
right.
and so we're gonna wrap it up. And what we want to wrap it up with is, because we want to see you have maximum results this year, we really want you to maximize your moments, your days, your weeks, your months, and your year, so you can have one of the best years ever. You have to have hope. You have to have a positive mindset. You have to really believe that all things are possible.
All things are possible. Exactly. Mhm.
And because we are this team, we are Christians. We never judge and condemn other people for their different system of belief. It just is not in our hearts to do.
Mhm.
But we don't negate what helps us. And we share that with you.
Right.
Our system of belief, all things is possible with God,
Mhm.
because he really helps us to see the things we can't see. Holy Spirit reveals things that we didn't even know about, helps us to begin that contemplation process, as Marquis had stated earlier. Listen, as Linda has just sent home, it is a team effort. Put a support team around you, whether it's us, whether it's someone else. Get that support, even if it's just someone, like Marquis said, iron sharpens iron, someone you can bounce things off of. And as I said earlier, don't just get the yes person, because just a yes person, then yes, yeah, oh yeah, girl, you're right, honey, tell me when challenge me for thoughts. One thing about coaching, as coaches, we challenge you for thought. We want to make sure, that your thinking is reality. It's not a dream coming to the surface, and so try to keep a positive mindset. According to the word, it says, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And so, in order for you to have one of the best years of your life, you got to believe it, sweetheart. You got to look at your system of belief, and you've got to believe that it's possible. And if you believe it's possible, then you are going to be in it to win it.
Amen.
Believe it. And so that's what we're going to leave you with this week. Those are my final words. I'll let the team say their final words. But I want you to know that we love you so much. We love you so much. You guys know that. And we've been here for a while because we want you to know that we truly, truly, truly love you. I'm saying that right to your face. It's my story. I'm sticking to it. We love you. We want the very best for you. And we want you to live one of the best years of your life. And so we want to start it off right. And we want to ride this wave with you. So we're in the preparation stage. Come back in 2 weeks. We're going to keep going, keep the momentum flowing. And what do you say, team? What do you want to tell them? I'm saying I love y'all.
Yes, indeed, we do. And because we are a team, we would love to be a part of your goal achievement team for this year. So consider including us, and we'll have more details next program in regards to how the whole program is going to work, but it's going to be fabulous and you're going to love it.
Yes. Yes.
Well, just to echo and agree with and concur with my two colleagues that success in any nature, it's possible. One of the things that I would like for us to do in the coming weeks is this is my vision board. You can't see it, but I think in order to have our best year, it's getting a vision. And within my vision board, there are things that I have incorporated, things that I want to achieve. And so with the vision board, I have a visual. I can go on my phone, I can go on my tablet, I can go on my computer. It's there and I see it. And so it helps to reinforce the goals that I have. So we'll talk about that in another session. But I've enjoyed this. I'm excited now. I can, I'm going to get my pencil, my paper, my computer out, and I'm just going to start going to work because I really want this to be my best life. And and for me, I've had success. I've done some things, but we want more out of life. God is a good God. And his blessings are bountiful, they're endless, they're everlasting.
Right. Yes.
And I want to get all that I can get while I can get, and while the getting is getting good.
Getting good. It's gonna be getting good, honey. It is getting good.
So
I'm so excited. I'm telling you, we are excited. You all just don't know. You will be finding out soon. Before you wrap up, I know I said I was done, but I just looked into the chat, and Ava had said that teamwork makes a dream work. Absolutely, Ava. Teamwork makes the dream work, and we're about to work our dreams, right?
Yes,
And then Stacy said, yes, a positive mindset is important, and all things are possible. Dream big. Absolutely. And Ava, thank you so much. She says, believe and get motivated. Yes, we want you to believe, we want you to get motivated, and most importantly, we want you to get moving.
Yes, right.
Motivated. Don't just sit there feeling motivated. We want you to motivate you, and that's, you guys know I'm the motivity coach, and so my thing is putting your life in motion. So we want to put life in motion. Yeah,
Mary. So do we want to set goals for our next meeting or our next show? Have people who are on today and tell others to set their goals using that SMART formula?
Yeah,
Okay.
please do that. Yeah.
Go over that again, the SMART formula for setting goals.
SMART it's just the way it's spelled. SMART. And it's smart. It's specific. So come with a specific and a measurable. Remember, measurable is if you think about how important it is to you. So from 1 to 10, how important is this thing to you? And what is it going to look like when you get there? So you want to measure this, so because if it's too big, then it's not gonna meet the next one, because the next one is attainable.
Right.
So you got to measure it to make sure it's attainable. And so it's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, and then it's realistic. Now come with the realistic goal, and then it's time bound. So we're gonna say by when. By when you gonna get that done? No, I really don't talk like that when I'm coaching you. I'll say, so when would you like to do this? When would you like to accomplish this? Because we want to begin with the end in mind. We're at the beginning of the year. Now you're gonna be moving through this year better than you moved through any year trying to make a change, right? We've already told you about the stages of change. Think about what stage you're in with these changes. So we call these action steps for it. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. We're going to be checking on these action steps over 2 weeks. What we want you to do, we want you to set your SMART goal. Just even if it's just one, you can set several. Well, get you a journal. Get you a journal or a notebook. Get a journal or a notebook. That's really advisable. Get you a journal or a notebook and entitle it "One of the Best Years of My Life."
Yeah.
Having one of the best years, living one of the best years of my life, or maximizing my life, or maximizing me. Okay, so now what you're going to do when you put it in there, you're going to make sure, and always come to our show with pencil and pad, because really, I mean, you can always go back. Even if you go back, get your pencil and pad, go back and watch it and write and make some notes. But generally, you don't even go back and listen to the whole show. So if you're making notes along the way, it'd be great for you. So get you so that you can set at least one SMART goal. One SMART goal. So if you have any challenges, put them in the chat next time. We'll talk about that, and we'll answer any questions we have or whatever. But you want to do that. You want to, if you share, we want you to share this show. So there's someone who that's trying to make changes, whatever. If you think that the show is worth it, share it with people.
Yeah.
Share it with people, because we're just trying to get to
Wanna
many people possible. We want them to, we do go back and we see that quite a few people do view our show. So we're happy about that, but we want to keep on sharing. We want to, we really want to influence people's life for the positive. And don't you want people to live, to gain maximum results this year? So do that. And then so you got that, you got the SMART, and then look at the changes, the 6 stages of change. You can Google it, you can look it up, the 6 stages of change. So you can ask yourself, what stage am I in? So you know how much work you need to do. You know what kind of goal you need to set. Okay, so the things that we gave you today, remember the assessment, well, this is a way to do that assessment. Okay, then we talked about the mindset, because we want you to have a positive mindset, a hopeful mindset. Okay, we want you to be in it to win it, and so have that winning mindset. And so those are the tidbits we gave you today. We said dream big, so you don't limit yourself. And we will be talking about a vision board. We will be talking about a journal. Journaling and vision boards are very, very excellent success tools. Okay, so we love you. God will be with you. If all minds are clear, we're just going to say we love you and bye for now.
We'll see you.
Okay, goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye for now.